Hello and welcome back. It's time for the final episode of Season 3 of Sound Euphonium. This is Season 3, Episode 13. So this is either going to be a season finale or a series finale. I think it's supposed to be a series finale because I don't believe there's I don't believe there's more story after this. Not just in terms of like the show, but like in terms of the source material. I think the source material was done after this, but you know, then again, as I've been told many times, the source material did divert last episode as well, in a pretty major way. I mean, you guys really enjoyed the reaction to last episode and it got quite a lot of attention. I genuinely loved the last episode. I would say it was one of the best episodes of the series, of the entire series. I think it was brilliantly done. It got me very emotional. It had like just the right amount of callbacks to previous seasons, some of which I didn't even pick up on until they were pointed out to me. And the writing was incredible. And like I know people have said like, oh, in the source material that doesn't happen. In the source material, Kumiko is the one who ends up winning that, you know, audition. But having seen the way it went in this, I can't imagine it any other way. Like this, I think they made the right decision. This feels like it's absolutely perfect for the story. To me, it feels like it was such a brave and strong writing decision, and it made all of the characters' motivations and character arcs make so much sense to me that to me, I don't really care what the source material was because like this was perfect. I am really interested one day I'd love to, I doubt I will because I never really do this, especially for things that were like novels and stuff, but I would love to go and read the source material one day and see like exactly how it went from start to finish, to see like the progression of it, and see how the character arcs feel like in that, because maybe in the source material it felt more right for it to go that way, but I feel like this was such a great writing choice that like I do not want to surrender it. I love it. So we're going to be jumping into the final episode, season 3, episode 13. Make sure to support this video. And since this is the final episode, if this was the only series of mine you're watching on the channel, feel free to go check out some other series. I do a lot of shows on this channel, and I have a channel called Gent Watches One Piece where I just do One Piece. You should go check out those channels, see if there's anything you like. I'm doing stuff like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. I'm starting Cowboy Bebop this week. I got My Hero Academia. There's so much stuff on this channel that you can go check out. Please do go see. But otherwise, like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I have a Patreon account if you want the full length reaction as well as early access exclusive videos, lots of other juicy stuff. So yeah, anyway, let's jump into Sound Euphonium season 3 episode 13. Oh shit. Graduation. Yay! Mayu, can you be in some photos, please? Aww, that's so cute. Season 3. Connecting Melodies. Final episode. 4 days prior. 3 days prior. Wow. Aww. Are you two finally able to properly get along without any like undertones? Aww. Kanade. You're not allowed to play with us. Oh, okay. Oh, that's sweet. Oh, that's so great. That was a great scene. Oh, that sounds great. Very driven. It's awesome.
はいはい。何それ。だって滝先生おじいちゃんになっちゃうかも。それでもいい。本気だし。
Kumiko's laugh there is so cute. The voice actors in this show are so incredible.
やるぞ。
Competition day.
私たちの見られなかったものを見せて。任せてく
Damn,
ださい。
you guys look so mature now.
頑張って。はい。
They really nail the look and feeling of like a
これ
ex-student coming back to visit.
もらった今日はいい日かな。それって俳句。仕事？ガチだ。ガチです。ガチっすね。ガチガチです。さすがみ。
最後なんですね。
笑ってほしい。
You two kiss.
僕がですか？
モトムくんはかっこいい。
Aww.
緑、モトムくんが可愛かったなって思う。久美子先輩。
There she is. Back to the classic ponytail.
ハグ。なんだあれは。大好きなハグ。私たちもやっておく？
Yes. Yes, you should. Yes, I'm so happy about this.
はい。
I feel like teachers in my school would have been like, stop doing that. I don't know why.
いいの。最近
Stop hugging.
滝先生が好きで。みんなが好きです。
It's sweet that they're like making sure we know the characters.
あとは
Even the ones that didn't get much screen
悔いの
time.
ないよ。
There are so many good character designs.
ステージに立ちました。みんなにはいろいろなことを求めました。
I love this. All these characters seem like they're just silently developed.
後悔したくなかったからです。
Mm-hmm.
納得したかったからです。これまでのすべてをぶつけてください。
There are so many people in here.
金賞を取りましょう。それではご賞はください。
Kitauji fight! That was awesome. Showing all those different characters was great.
久美子。滝先生好きって言った。
Oh my gosh, get in there quick.
演奏中は礼拝を。
Oh my god, really?
間に合う。
That's like an aggressive stop. Here we go. Oh, it's a very... I mean, we've... Oh, never mind. I was gonna say it's a very peaceful piece. Ah, the victory on her hand. We've heard bits and pieces of this piece, but I actually really like it. Wow. Gotta show the whole series so far, huh? Oh my god. This is awesome. Oh, that's awesome! Yep. There's that moment. Oh my gosh. It's making me want to rewatch the series, honestly. Here we go. Is this the Soli? Yeah. Well, it sounds good. It's in good hands. Oh, it sounds really good. It's getting me kind of emotional. Wow, putting all of like the really hard moments in the Soli. That's a strong decision. Just reminding us of all the hardships. Oh man. It's funny they can get away with doing a recap video episode because it matches so nicely with the themes and the music. So it actually just feels appropriate. I forgot Kanade wasn't playing. That makes me sad still. But she will in future years. I love these close-ups! Oh, Taki looks satisfied. He's proud of them. Oh gosh. That's how it ends? That's an awesome fucking ending to the song. That was beautiful. Oh. That was great. I really liked that. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's good. Come on, surely it bears fruit. Come on. Is it gonna cut away? Oh, no. They did it! Oh! Oh, she's just struck. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, even Taki's emotional. They fucking earned that. Oh. I knew it was gonna happen just from a writing perspective, but it still hits just as hard. Oh my god. Oh, cool. There's gonna be some epilogue pictures, look at that. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's great. They got a photo with her. Oh. I'm glad Shuichi gets to be in that photo as well. He's normally not there. Ah. There's still more. Ooh, this music's good. Oh yeah, I know this song. Right. They've played this before. That's good. Are they gonna live up to the kitauji name? A few years. Is she a teacher? Oh. Yeah. Go to the Nationals, that's their goal. You all sucked. Assistant advisor. Look at her. That's so great. I mean, yeah, that was perfect. That was the perfect ending for me. That wrapped it up nicely how I wanted it to be wrapped up. Oh man, yeah, the concert scene was so good. Like the music was like, I know people. Excuse me. I know some people, you know, have talked about in this season like the lack of sort of performances. Like we don't get to see them play, and they keep skipping the performances and stuff. And I know a lot of people know that the reason for that is they were saving it for the finale, but they still want to see them. But for me, like, I truly think this is the best decision. Like, it's the same as the last episode where I just think I think the studio has made the best decision for every possible thing that they did, because I do think that that in this episode, like, that performance works so well because we'd only heard tiny bits and pieces of it, and like hearing it, how it all comes together at the end is so satisfying. And also it allowed them, you know, if you keep showing performances and stuff early on, we get less of the character work. And the character work, I feel like in this show, there was no like wasted time on any of it. Sometimes, you know, you'll have shows like this, and this isn't a bad thing because this is very slice of lifey and this is fun and I like this. But you know, you'll in shows like Bocchi the Rock or whatever, where there are like a decent amount of performances in it. There's also a lot of episodes where the characters are kind of just fucking around, you know, like, oh, we're doing this, we're doing a big joke or whatever. And I mean, Bocchi the Rock's a comedy show, so that makes sense. But like, you know, there's a lot of time there where if you cut that part out of the episode, it would have sucked because you wouldn't have had that funny or cute part that they had. But also at the same time, you know, you wouldn't have gotten less out of the characters. But I feel like this show, the pace is actually really quick, and it puts character moments back to back to back. And if it's not a character moment, it's a setup for a different character moment. And that happens the entire series, where it's like these episodes for me fly by because every scene feels so important and feels so impactful and has some sort of emotional undertone to it. I really, really love that about it. So the fact that they have one performance for the whole season is perfect for me, because then I know they're getting the maximum amount of emotion from that one performance. And it really did. Like, as someone who, like, I don't care that much about orchestras or watching orchestras overall. Like, I like them, but I wouldn't go and watch an orchestra concert, really, you know, unless it was like one of those, you know, gimmick concerts based on one of my favorite series or whatever. Then maybe I'd do it, but only because of the connection I have with the series rather than to the music itself. But yeah, but if it was just like, oh, a regular orchestral concert, you know, I likely, you know, at least at this point in my life, don't think that I'd go and watch that. So I don't have a superb connection to that sort of music. But with that being said, you know, I was watching this performance and they do a great job at like showing you with the different beats in the music, but also with the scenes that they're showing and the cinematography and stuff, like exactly what you're supposed to feel at any given point, you know? And I loved some of the decisions, like with the Soli, when they had that start playing up, they started to show all of the hardships that they'd gone through. And that's like a really cool choice to make there, because that is kind of the hardest part of the performance, is like sitting there and listening to Reina and Mayu do the Soli together. And so that makes sense that would be the time that Kumiko would be reflecting on all of the emotional stuff she had to push through, and yet came out on the other end still smiling. I mean, I love that the Soli in this episode, it wasn't even like, that's been the crux of the whole season, and it wasn't even like like anything that was holding anyone down anymore. No one was talking about it or anything, you know, because it went great. It was like it was the right call for the concert, and Kumiko didn't seem upset about it or anything. She because what mattered was she wanted to get the gold. That was what she was working towards. And she said beforehand, like, no matter what happens, I'm not having any regrets because we did this the way I wanted to do it. But even so, with having no regrets, she also got her wish, which is to get gold. And that moment when they got called for gold, man, like a rush of emotions. I love moments like that in shows, when you can build up that so much, and then when all the excitement hits. It's one of the reasons Haikyuu is it is my favorite anime of all time. Haikyuu is like top one of my anime list, and the reason for that is because Haikyuu, like, well, there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think something that Haikyuu does really well is the payoff at the end of each match is immensely good. Like, just so satisfying. And seeing, like, when characters really, really want something to happen, and then it happens for them, like, there's nothing that can get me more hyped / emotional than that. And that's what we see here, is like they work so hard for it and it pays off, and we get to see all of their reactions. And I love seeing artists' interpretations of what their characters' reactions would be, you know, like the kyoani like know these characters very well, so like, you know, getting to see how they draw each one of their expressions is beautiful, because I always want to know how people, like, just seeing that pure joy is what I've been waiting for. And seeing stuff like Reina just like sitting there stunned, you know, like she's excited but almost can't believe it's happening, and she's just like staring straight ahead while the others are like jumping up and down and hugging her. It's just so incredible. But like, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that gets me a lot of the time when it comes to like emotional moments. I've talked about it before. I've talked about it a lot on my One Piece channel, because One Piece has its fair share of like emotional moments. But stuff like character deaths don't tend to make me cry too much, you know, like sometimes I will, but most of the time I won't really. I'll just be like shocked by it. But seeing a character that I really care about's reaction to it can just completely break me. My focus is always on how a character feels about a situation, but something that will make me cry a lot of the time more is just some sort of relief or joy that comes out, you know. Just any sort of like releasing of tension. Oh man, it's so good. I loved that little roll call moment early on in the episode. I mean, it wasn't a roll call, but like it was showing us all of the characters in the band and giving us their name and their instrument and stuff. I just think that's really nice, because I have thought about that before, how there's so many characters in this band, but we obviously don't have time to develop all of them. I mean, we barely had time to develop these ones that we did. So a lot of them are just like in the background and stuff. But I've always noticed, you know, these are consistent characters. Like, they're not just drawing random people. These are characters that are sticking around, and you could probably like notice some of them changing or growing over time or whatever. But we just didn't focus on them. And I think it's really, really great to see like the fruits of all of that labor, and like they just get a moment in the last episode to just go, hey, by the way, these characters, we knew their names, we knew their personalities, we knew everything about them. Like, here are their names and instruments and what they look like right now, just as a check-in, just so you know. And I think that's adorable. I think that's really fun to see all of these characters and give them that moment. I wish I could have focused on it more, because I was also trying to focus on the speech that was happening at the same time. So I was reading the subtitles of those, but then jumping and looking at the characters, and then reading the subtitles and looking at the characters. And there was so much to look at any given time. But there were a lot of good designs in there, and I really enjoyed it. This episode also satisfied my need for hugs. There was a lot of hugs in this episode. As I've said, I think hugs in anime need to be more prevalent. I love when characters hug one another. I think hugs in life need to be more prevalent. To my friends the other day, I described myself as a serial hugger. I said, like, that's the problem with being friends with a serial hugger. To which one of my friends replied, what type of cereal do you hug? So, you know, that's just a glimpse in how that conversation went. But I love to hug people, and I love physical contact because I think it's sweet, and it's like just a really nice form of affection for kind of anyone, you know? Like, just anyone can kind of hug anyone. I mean, I don't want to say that and have people go out on the street and hug random people. I mean, like, in terms of, like, if you have a close relationship with another person, like, a hug to me kind of never feels out of place. And so, like, I love it, and I love like in this episode, they were doing that as like a sort of exercise before the performance started, and then we got a lot after, obviously, as they were celebrating. And then Kumiko became assistant advisor for the band, little teacher work. She looked great. It was amazing. I'm so proud of her. That's the perfect role for her to be in. It was, I mean, they were very clearly setting that path up for her, and it works so nicely, you know? Like, if she doesn't want to go into music professionally, just being able to share that music with the younger generation and keep kitauji band in a position that she cares about is incredible, and it works so nicely. And yeah, the other thing I wanted to say is, like, I said this at the start, but they really in this show nail the adults coming back to school to visit type feel. I was someone who I wasn't in band or anything. I was in school musicals, right? Because I'm kind of an actor. I say kind of because I don't really practice it too much anymore. But I was in all of my school musicals, right? That was because I also did acting out of school, and I did student films, and I was part of an acting agency. But you know, during school, I joined my school musical, and pretty quickly I rose the ranks and got to the lead, the lead in those musicals, you know. So basically, I joined the first musical, and I joined it kind of like late, and they gave me like a one-line role, right? And then I performed that line, and I saw the director, the teacher, very impressed that he was like, "Wait, this kid can act?" Because I'd done outside of school acting classes and stuff. And so another older student had to drop out of the musical at some point, and I got his role. So immediately I got like it wasn't a big part, but it was like it was a very active part, like a character that was pretty larger than life. I got that. I did it with a lot of enthusiasm, and the next year I got one of the main core casts, and then every year after that I just got the lead male role. Whatever the lead male role was, I got that one. And so I was dedicating myself to that in a very similar way to this, except obviously I feel like the musicals that I were in, it was nowhere near like this. It wasn't like a competition or anything, so it didn't require intense training or anything. There was a lot of rehearsal and stuff, and I put a lot of work into it, but it wasn't like this. But the reason I was bringing this up is because the musical was one thing that, like, people would graduate and leave the musical, but it was sort of special to them, so they would come back and see what's going on, you know? And so sometimes, like, students that we knew from years ago that were a lead in a previous musical would come back, and we would see them, and it was very much like this. Like, it feels that the vibe that these scenes have is so on point, just in terms of the way they speak, the way they're dressed, you know, the way they do their hair, like how they sort of look older, but at the same time, how you remember them. And that they feel like they're so composed and that they have their life together. And also, just when it sort of cuts to Kumiko, you kind of realize how, this is weird, but you kind of realize how, like, childish she seems because she's wearing, like, a school uniform. Like, just in comparison, she seems so much younger suddenly. Even though, you know, we're so used to seeing them in the school uniform and stuff, and it's, like, so natural. As soon as you see it compared to these students that we already knew in adult clothing, you're like, oh my gosh, like, there's a disparity between these characters. And that's how it felt when I was back in musical. It was like, they would see me in my school uniform, and I would be like, oh my god, I feel like a kid. Like, I didn't feel like this before, but now that I see them out and about, they've got a career, they're in the world, like, I feel like a child. But yeah, anyway, that was Sound Euphonium, seasons 1 to 3. I mean, it was amazing. It was gorgeous. I will say, this isn't my final sort of Sound Euphonium thing that I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I'm still short 2 things that I need to do with Sound Euphonium. There's the, I think it's the ensemble or whatever, OVA or movie or whatever it is that I haven't done yet. I was gonna do it during this season, but I was so busy I didn't have time to. I did the Our Promise movie, that's on my Patreon account, currently exclusive to my Patreon account in full-length version, but if you wanna check it out, then you can. Otherwise, in the future, I might post it to this channel. Yeah, I've got that on the back burner. But I need to do the ensemble thing at some point, and I also need to watch Liz and the Bluebird. And so I still have some Sound Euphonium content, but I don't know if and when I'll be doing that. I think I probably will. I think it's just a matter of when I'll be doing it. But the seasons 1 to 3, the actual show itself was absolutely incredible from start to finish. A near perfect show. Like it does exactly what I want a show to do, which is if I don't really care about the subject material, it makes me care. That's when a show can really nail it, you know? Like, oh, you guys don't care about an orchestral band. You don't care about the euphonium. Like, I still don't think the euphonium sounds that great as an instrument, right? I don't think it's a very interesting instrument overall. But it doesn't matter because I cared about it. The writers made me care about it the entire time, and like in the last episode, you know, it was making, like previous episode, I mean, it was making me really listen hard to euphoniums to pick out which one I liked more and stuff, which made me care more about the instrument. So yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Great show. So thank you so much for joining me for season 3, episode 13 of Sound Euphonium. Make sure to support this video if you can, liking, commenting, subscribing. Go to my Patreon account for full-length early access and exclusive videos. And that's it. I will see you next time. Goodbye.